With Bitcoin above 100K and many altcoins starting to gain a bit of momentum, I think it's about time I make a video discussing the very best layer ones to have in your portfolio. I believe the bulk of most people's portfolios should be entirely layer ones, unless you're being a complete degen and you're willing to lose all the money you put into crypto. You should be looking at layer one chains as the majority of your holdings. The reason for this is because they have the most stability, they have the most use cases, and at the end of the day, that's what crypto is all about. It's about blockchains and layer ones. And yes, memes can do well. Yes, gaming coins can do well in all different sectors, but blockchains are the most consistent winners in the space. Also, if you just go and look at the top 100, the vast majority of coins are in fact layer ones. Sui, one of the best performing coins this cycle, which I called well below $1 in my VIP group, that is a layer one. It came out of nowhere and it's in the top 10 basically now, if you exclude stablecoins, okay? Solana's a layer one, BNB, the whole lot. Basically, 50 or 60 or 70% of the coins in the top 100 are probably layer one chains, and that's for a good reason. So in this video, I'm going to share with you my 7 favorite layer ones. Some of them are very broad layer ones, which kind of focus on loads of different sectors, and some of them are what I would call sector-specific layer ones, which means they have a specific function. Maybe it's a gaming layer one, maybe it's a storage layer one, maybe it's an AI layer one. And I'm going to share them with you today. I'm going to talk about the potential X's each one has. So if that sounds interesting, please make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well if you're new, and we'll get straight into the video. Now, I want to let you guys quickly know about the VIP group. This is where I share my buy and sell alerts. I gave a buy alert for Sui at 70 cents. I gave a buy alert for Kaspa at 3 cents in this group, and many other projects at very, very small prices, okay, or low prices, and then they go on to pump. If you're interested in the group, hit the link in the description, check it out. The prices will be going up quite soon because of the massive demand we have in the group right now. So the first layer one on my list is obviously Sui, okay? This is my biggest holding right now. It's at a $12 billion market cap. Many people are comparing it to Solana from last cycle. Some people saying it could do a Cardano run. If it does anything like that, we're talking even from this current price after it's pumped loads, still another potential 5 to 8x. Now, I'm more conservative than that. I don't think we're getting necessarily an altcoin season to the same level as last cycle where you just buy anything in the top 100 and you make, millions. I think it's going to be a bit difficult, a bit harder. There's going to be a lot of catch-up trades. People are going to be basically recycling the same capital back and forth from loads of different altcoins. And for that reason, I'm personally putting Sui more in that kind of 3 to 6x kind of ballpark. Anywhere in that region for me, I think is amazing considering the fact that it's already pumped a lot. This coin adds stability to your portfolio. It's got a growing ecosystem. It's on all the big exchanges and the chart looks absolutely amazing. So I think when we get this massive run on Total 3 and we get all-time highs in the altcoin market, Sui will be one of the clearest winners that pumps the most. The next one on my list is Kaspa, and this is one which hasn't actually pumped for a while. But if you remember, back in kind of 2023, this was consistently one of the biggest gainers in the market, kind of how Sui is now. Now, I don't think anything really fundamentally has worsened for Kaspa other than the fact that maybe people just took some profits. People got a bit bored. They moved to other chains, right? So the chain itself, the project itself is still fundamentally one of, if not the best in the crypto market when you look at the fundamentals of the tech. It solves a trilemma. The only thing maybe people are getting a bit frustrated with, getting a bit bored of, is the fact there's no tier 1 listings. And the reason for that is because of the inherent decentralization of Kaspa. Like I said, it solves a trilemma. There was no pre-mine, no pre-allocation. It's a proof of work project. And a lot of people don't like proof of work projects, but I have an exception for Kaspa. I think Bitcoin is the king at the end of the day, but the only other proof of work project I would consider would be Kas. And it's because of how innovative it is. It's basically, put simple, if you could create Bitcoin in 2025 and make it actually scalable so it really fulfills its potential as a peer-to-peer currency, Kaspa would be the embodiment of that. So great project. I think it's got X's from here. For me, I need to see how long it takes for it to get to 30 cents before I can make an actual bull market top prediction. Because if it takes a while to get to 30 cents, that could be the end. That could be the top of the cycle by that point. and then the whole market enters a bear market, and it doesn't really matter which coin you hold, it will go down. So if we can surpass 30 cents, 20 to 30 cents really quickly, like in the next couple of months or the next few weeks, then I think it does have a chance of hitting 50 cents to $1. But if it takes us a while to hit 30 cents, it might be too little too late by that point. Either way, I have Kaspa from here doing anywhere between a 3 to a 10x, most likely something like a 5x, but we'll have to wait and see how the market goes and see what level of an altcoin season we truly get. And obviously, most importantly, how quickly Kaspa responds to the next leg up. If it continues to lag and continues to be slow, then obviously we need to be more on the conservative side. But if it moves very impulsively, very quickly, we can up our targets and be a bit more ambitious. Next, layer one would be a sector-specific layer one to AI, and that is Bittensor Tau. The way I'm going to explain Tau is it is essentially an AI layer one. You can build different AI use cases, different AI protocols on Tau through the subnets, and each of these different AI systems, they all have their own token. Okay, so you've got AI projects on Tau that basically will try and decipher something that's real or AI. So like if something's a deep fake, it will be able to decipher whether it's real or a deep fake. That's just one example. There's tons and tons and tons of different examples on Tau, but I like it a lot. I like the vision. I like the fact that they're incredibly decentralized, and we're going into a world where AI is extremely centralized. There is going to be something that fights back to that, a force to the opposite side. And I think right now that's Tau. So it's at a 3 billion market cap. It's currently set at $422 with an all-time high of 767. I think Tau could potentially, considering we're in an AI run, could potentially still pull a 10x from here, if we have a good bull run. So I would be looking at maybe anywhere between a 2,000 to a 5,000 Bittensor Tau in this bull run. I know it sounds ambitious when we talk above a 10x, but I do think, considering we've had a very AI-dominated cycle, it's not an extremely unlikely scenario. The next one would be Say. That's at a $1.2 billion market cap. Hasn't had a great bull run. The all-time chart doesn't look amazing, but I'm betting on this one being one of the laggers that has a big recovery in the next leg. Say is like an EVM layer one. Okay, so obviously it's not like a layer two on Ethereum, and they claim to be the fastest parallel blockchain. So it is an incredibly fast layer one, 400 ms time to finality. And they have a big focus on DeFi, basically supporting things like order books, transactions, trading, things like that. You can see they're backed by Circle, Coinbase, some big names. And yeah, I just think the project's going to do very well on this next leg. I don't think DeFi is dead. I think it's going to make a big comeback. And a project like Say, which makes DeFi way more scalable and efficient, I think it'll do very well. So as for my prediction on Say, my bear case would be like an all-time high double top, I guess you could say. My most likely case would be a 10x from here. And my bull target would be a 20x from here. I think all of those are possible. As I say, a lot of it depends on how high Bitcoin goes. If Bitcoin only goes to like 120K and that's the top, a lot of these altcoins will more so be on the conservative side of topping out. But if Bitcoin booms past this massive trend line resistance and goes to like 200K, 150K, then we can obviously expect way higher prices than my conservative targets. But obviously, I think everyone should have an AI project in their portfolio. It's an AI cycle. Tau is the clearest fit for me. The next pick is a bit more of a degen one, and that would be Peaq. I mentioned AI, but we also have something called DePIN, which I would say is kind of like the next evolution of crypto AI, because you've got all these different systems and they're really inefficient, okay? Blockchain technology can speed these things up, make them more efficient, get rid of the single point of failure, and obviously decentralize some of these systems so they're not all controlled by a small few. If you think of, for example, storage, how decentralized is the current data storage system that most people use, like the Google Cloud and things like that? It's not very decentralized, okay? So that's what DePIN essentially is. It's decentralizing physical infrastructure. Now with Peaq, it has many applications. This is basically a layer 1 built for that. They have over 6 million machines, vehicles, robots, and devices all connected with the network. So go check this project out. I'm a big believer in it. I know the chart, again, it doesn't look amazing, but you've got to consider the time they launched. They launched right at the start of that massive leg up, and then obviously we come down. It looks like a really inorganic chart because of that, but we didn't have a base previously, again, because of the time it launched. It launched right in the middle of that November rally. But anyway, when I zoom out, I think this project has a ton of potential, 100 million market cap. Who knows where it could go? It's a bit more speculative than some of the other plays, but I think this layer 1 could potentially do anywhere between a 10 to a 20x from these current prices. It's really, really undervalued, and it's kind of just been hovering for a while now around this 13 to 14 cent region. It's getting a bit boring, but once it actually makes a move, this thing's going to rocket. And the final pick would be Arweave. And the reason I'm going for Arweave, I know it's a bit of a boring coin. It's a storage layer 1. I know it's a bit boring. Like when you look into the project, it's not the most exciting coin in the world. Basically, it's like Bitcoin, but for data. So you can store data. They have a permanent storage system. So you're paying for your storage to be there for ages. I think it's like 200 years or something crazy. And they also have a decentralized web. Okay. So there's some interesting things going on with the project. You can click on use and you can see the different use cases they have. They are backed by Meta. I believe Meta were doing NFTs and they were storing them actually on Arweave, which is pretty good. But it's not just for things like NFTs. It could be for anything, right? If you've got intellectual information, you want to keep it stored, you're going to use Arweave. If you want a decentralized blockchain system, right? Rather than centralized systems, which obviously aren't good because there's a single point of failure and loads of other reasons as to why centralized systems could be corrupted, all these different things, right? So Arweave for me, it is a bit of a boring play, but I've been taking a look at the chart lately, and to me, this chart looks like it's ready to pump impulsively and explosively. If you look at the last pump that Arweave did when it broke out, on the RSIs here. Let's go to the point of breakout. It was like maybe here. Look how quickly it pumped up 10x essentially, over 10x. Boom, right up here. Basically did a 10x in a month. Incredible gains, incredible returns. Had you been buying Arweave down there at $9, it went straight up to 50. Okay, that wasn't a 10x. So from here to here, that's a 500% move. So a 6x. But if you go from the actual lows, the point of the breakout on the RSIs, it's over a 10x. You're talking like a 14x from the lows. Who knows what it's going to do from here? But I think there's a very, very strong possibility it at least goes to those highs, which would be from right now a 7x, just to the highs that we were at earlier on last year. Could it even battle those all-time highs from the 2021 bull run? It absolutely could. And you'd be talking a 13, 14x from here. And then if it goes higher than that, I mean, you know, it's unlimited at that point because you're in price discovery. But Arweave for me is one of those coins where it's been unfairly beaten up, unjustifiably beaten up. And what happens with Arweave, it does have these really big crashes down, but then it recovers very quickly. Okay, I remember it in the past as well. It's happened before. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to have a big recovery. The chart to me is looking pretty good. If we can get above this kind of trading range down here, that would be really good. And then we get straight into essentially price discovery again. But yeah, really nice setup here on Arweave. I think it could potentially pull anywhere between like a 7 to a 15x from here right now. Really undervalued project with strong utility-based fundamentals. Okay, that wraps up today's video, guys. Hopefully you gained some value. These are my top layer ones. Some of them you should go heavier in than others. Sui and Kaspa and Tau, for sure. They should be higher allocations than something like Peaq or Arweave. Just for reference, Sui for me is my biggest holding. It's like over 20% of my portfolio. Peaq, it's like 1% or less. So you need to allocate sensibly, because certain coins are way more kind of guaranteed to pump than others. And they just allow you to sleep better at night because they have less volatility, they're more set, they have better fundamentals. So yeah, that wraps up the video. I think we're going to have a really nice run on altcoins in the coming couple of months. And these are my favorite layer one blockchains to harness massive X's on in this next run. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like. Check out my VIP group. If you want my real-time buy and sell alerts, check out the VIP group. You also gain access to a 24/7 active Discord group. Just since I've been doing this video, there's a ton of messages. People are constantly sharing the latest and the greatest altcoins, sharing trading setups, and talking about portfolio strategy, exit strategy, all these different things. We also have voice chat, so it's pretty much every single day I'm in. So you can talk to me personally in the voice chat. You can ask me some questions about your portfolio, exit strategy, certain altcoins you want me to review, whatever it is, we can discuss. I just recommend checking it out, guys. Or you just have to join to see it. You know, sign up for a month. You can always cancel, but it's very, very rare that people do that. Okay. If you want as well, you can actually sign up for 3 months, yearly, or lifetime to save yourself some extra money down the line. But all those options are available in the video description. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.